Hey everyone, this is Jarrad VK3BL, and we're down at Strictly Ham today having a look at the Yaesu FTdx101D, the new SDR radio from Yaesu. Now the phone rings all the time here. This is, as I said, we're at Strictly Ham, Ross's store, or Slim as a lot of people will know him, and he's got the display model on. So don't mind the phone, if it rings it is always going off. Now, one thing when you see this radio in the flesh that really stands out is the build quality is better than the ICOM. It is an impressive radio. It feels very well made. The knobs feel very solid. They look very nice. There's a lot of weight in the big knob here. And if you're one of those people who likes a nice big knob, this is probably one of the best ones in the price class, I've got to admit. You can adjust it down there. There's a tiny little thing to adjust the sensor, I guess not the momentum, I guess, and make it, so you can do that sort of thing or not. It's pretty much unseeable, but it is there. It's nicely adjustable, and the tuning rate is really nice. At the moment, I'm on the AM broadcast band, just because the antenna here is not picking up anything on 40. To be honest, the bands are pretty dead in VK at the moment, but it's a very, very lovely radio to sit in front of, and if you just want to have a nice radio to sit in front of in the shack, get on 40 or 80, rag tune, and do a bit of DXing, I must say you will feel like a king if you've got this in the shack. It's just very well built. The noise reduction is actually beautiful. I recorded a little video of the noise reduction on my iPhone when we did actually have a signal earlier today, and I'll put that up as well, maybe tack it on to the end of this. But overall, the first impression is lovely. There's a few tiny things I'll nitpick, and that's one thing I find a little bit silly is that the sub band, the band you're on, is lit up blue quite brightly up the top here, and the main band is quite a dim white light down the bottom. It's sort of like the reverse of what you'd think. So I kept looking at it, getting confused as to why it said I was on 14 meters when I was on general coverage, for example. So the scope is, I guess, one of the stellar features of this. It isn't as smooth as the ICOM scope. The refresh rate, you can probably only get to something like 12 or 15 frames a second, unlike the 25 or 30 that the ICOM does. That's probably something they can address in a firmware update if it annoys people, I'm not sure. It also is a bit more flashy, I guess, as in epilepsy style flashy than the ICOM. Once again, probably something they can fine tune. But the most interesting thing is it has a few different modes. So this is your standard sort of scope mode where you've got the band scope and the waterfall. At the moment I've got the level adjustment on, so we can go and change it so it shows the band noise there. I do like the fact that they've gone with different colours. They haven't gone with the standard blue or anything that other manufacturers have. The red and the blue here looks really nice. But let's have a look at the 3D. That's the 3D scope. Now, I'm yet to decide whether this is a gimmick that reminds me of a 1980s stereo system, particularly a Kenwood, or whether it's a useful feature. To me, as I said, I'm just not sure yet. One thing I sort of don't like about that is that when you've got the band noise set to sort of display, the main signal sort of gets clipped up the top here and it gets quite squarey, which once again, I think this is probably things they'll fine tune as they get used to making radios like this, but it's an interesting feature, and tell us what you think of it in the comments, whether you like it, whether you hate it, I don't know. You can do most of the normal things, adjust the span, do center or do band, that sort of stuff, everything you'd expect on a band scope. And we do have another display option, I believe, or don't we? No, we don't, we've only got the two. But you can expand it. That was expanded, that's not expanded. And that's like that, so there you go. Mono goes and gets rid of your subband. I've actually got the subband turned off at the moment, but you just press that if you wanted to turn it on. But I guess the one thing that really stands out, aside from the build quality, is just the fact you've got a nice knob for everything. But you've also got a lot of menu functions that are quite easy to find. So if you do press function here, You can see everything is right there. It's really easy to get into things. It feels really nice. I really can't say enough about it in terms of build quality and just first impressions, and the fact it feels, you feel like you're in front of something solid, and it's a nice experience. It really is a nice user experience. I think the user experience of sitting there and touching it, the tactile sort of thing, it's better than the 7610. Where the 7610 beats it is the 7610 has more connectivity on the back. You've got, your reference input. You've got your antenna loop, so you can put, or RX loop, so you can put filters in and that sort of thing, or preamplifiers. You've got the Ethernet connectivity. You don't have that sort of stuff on this radio, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure I've looked at the back panel a few times. So that's what you give up, but in return you get something very solidly built and something that really feels like a pleasure to sit in front of. I must say I'm very impressed. A video cannot do it justice. The speaker sounds beautiful. Turn it up here a sec.
I mean, how much did you know? Yeah, long suffering. Yes.
And we've got a few more people who have come in. So I'll ask other people what they think of the radio. What's your impression? We've got a foundation call here. And what was your name? Sorry.
Adam.
We've got Adam here, and the call.
VK3FAFP.
VK3FAFP. And what do you think of this thing? Having a look at it.
Geez, having a look at this unit, it's actually quite impressive.
It does. There's something about it. It sort of has a bit of authority standing there, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it certainly does. It's definitely got a lot of features to it.
I reckon I'd really enjoy having that sitting in my shack in a nice comfortable chair and a boom mic or something, and you'd get on the air and you'd feel like you're the boss or something, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
And Slim, what's your favourite feature?
No comment.
No comment. I think his favourite feature is selling them, so correct me if I'm wrong there, Slim. I don't even know if you know how to use YouTube, but anyway. Anyone else got some comments on this radio? Have anyone played with it, or no? Well, you said you'd get one if you didn't have your nice rig, didn't you, Keith? Oh, we've got Keith over there laughing.
I'd be very happy with it.
VK3 Fox Tango, so he should have one. He's got a FT call for anyway. Point being is you should be getting one. VK3 FT, and you don't have the new FTdx101D.
That's true.
That's not right. You got to assign your call to Steve now. You know that.
Well, if you'd like to finance it for me, I might take it home.
Oh, who's driving the Porsche? Anyway, so this is why it's a bit hard to record a video down the shop. We've got a bit of riffraff here, but no, it's all good fun. And come down on a Saturday morning or something, and just meet some of the coffee drinkers. You might even get a coffee made for you, and have a look at this thing. I hope to get invited to someone's home who's owned one for a while, and get their impressions. But my first impressions is that you get a lot of radio for your money, and it's certainly going to suit the type of person who loves to rag chew and wants to feel like they're, I don't know, in command of their station, really. Anyway, this is Jarrad VK3BL saying 73 for Rate My Radio.
Just vacuuming the kitchen dining area is hard enough. If I go to the lounge room, it's 40 feet long. I don't think I'll bother the radio room. Like 7 metres, something like that. I'm not thinking I'm going to vacuum the radio room anyway, mate, or the lounge room. I don't think. I'm not getting today, are we?